What's up, guys? It's time for another episode of Toy Stories, and today we're going to be unboxing Tomax and Xamot, which you can find at Ross Dress for Less for $5.99. Normally these are $25 a piece, but if you go to Ross, they got all kinds of toys for some reason. Like I got this Star Wars figure there, Andor, which I haven't even watched that show. They had a bunch of Cobra Troopers, the Walmart exclusives. These were $4 a piece. He was $4 a piece, so go check it out because they got some good deals going on. But first, we're going to do a little brief history on Tomax and Xamot. Who are Tomax and Xamot? Tomax and Xamot are the leaders of the Crimson Guard and debuted in 1985. Their original names were Movat and Tovam. They share an empathic connection commonly known as Corsican syndrome, in which identical twins are believed to be psychically bonded in a manner similar to the Corsican Brothers novella published by Alexander Dumas in 1844. While this psychic connection is often useful as it allows them to communicate wordlessly, finish each other's sentences.
It's kind of like we almost finish each other's sentences.
I don't think we've ever finished each other's sentences.
It is also a liability as they feel each other's pain.
What? My brother's in trouble. How do you know? I know. Till now, those had it easy. But now it's working real hard. Cobra's hired evil twin brothers, leaders of the Crimson Guard.
The twin brothers are mirror images of each other. Tomax's hair is parted on the right side of his head, and Xamot's is on the left. The brothers' names are mirror images of each other also. The only distinguishing mark between the two is a scar on Xamot's right cheek. He and Tomax both served in the Foreign Legion before venturing out as successful mercenaries. A near-fatal firefight that gave Xamot the scar on his face provided the impetus for both to leave the battlefield. They went to Zurich, where they became financial geniuses. Tomax and Xamot also lead the respectable corporate face of Cobra as the founders, owners, and CEOs of extensive enterprises. Alright, this will be the first 6-inch figures I've ever opened. I am against 6-inch figures, especially because they're normally $25. And the cool thing about them is that they are making them, like, these look like replicas of the 3 3/4-inch figures. The bad thing is I'm a kid from the 80s and 90s, so I already had to rebuy. I bought tapes, then I had to buy CDs, now I gotta buy digital downloads. I used to buy VHS movies, then I had to buy DVDs, then I had to buy them again on Blu-ray. Tired of changing formats, and now G.I. Joe's making me do it too. And they charge a lot for them. They are cool, they're very detailed. But they don't come with a file card. Boxes are neat. And for storage, if you wanted to, you could just put them right back in the package after you take everything out, it looks like. And hang it on your wall if you didn't have a place for a bunch of 6-inch figures. All right, so these figures, they do look cool. I admit it. They don't come with battle stands either. And for some reason, they don't have the original weapons. They have different weapons. And there's no zip line. This is one of the, this I think is the second time Tomax and Xamot have been sold individually. I would have thought that they would have come together. So, okay, so this gun has a little silencer that you can put on it. That's it's a cool gun. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how well you can see that. It's a cool gun. It's got a silencer. It's got 2 knives. One to go right here. And the other one can go, they're both the same, so it looks like it doesn't matter which one goes where. And I'm sure his brother has the opposite. This is Xamot. I always like Tomax better. Okay, let me rephrase that. I always like the one with the scar better, but I like the name Tomax better. So I always pretended Tomax had the scar. Because Tomax just, the figure's face on the original figure, it was a stronger face, and it was a slightly looking cooler figure. I mean, granted, the only real difference was he was a mirror image and his face was different, but he was cooler looking. All right, so even though Tomax has the same stuff as Xamot, I'm going to go ahead and open him too. Another thing about these 6-inch figures that annoys me is that since I don't want them, they're very easy to find. Target has a whole bunch of them, and every time they get a new one, you can find them. I don't think anybody wants to pay that much for them because every time they come out with a 3 3/4 figures, I want them, and they're really hard to find. And that's what sucked about when that Snake Eyes movie came out, because they made a toy line, but they were all 6-inch. Because about the only thing I look forward to in a G.I. Joe movie at this point, I didn't put the magazine in his gun. So that's cool. That looks cooler. That looks like, whose gun does that look like? I can't remember, but somebody came with a gun like this before. But I look forward to the movies because they're terrible, but they usually have a toy line. But the last toy line was 6-inch figures, which I don't want. But now it sucks because I'm starting to like them because I bought a few. All right, so they actually do have trigger fingers, so their gun has to go into a specific hand. You got to kind of bend their fingers out, and then you put the gun in, and then they actually hold it really well. So these guns are cool. I'm just used to the classic zip line and whatever kind of guns they came with before. These are cool. They stay true to the originals, which I have right here. As you can see, they're much smaller. Now, these are the originals. They're what in the commercial, the original ones didn't have move up and down heads because they came out like right on that line of waves where it was like they were switching to move up and down heads. So the toys in the commercials, the original figure wasn't this. And I swear there's a kid at my bus stop that had the ones that didn't move up and down. And maybe that's the Mandela effect where I just remembered them looking different because that was the first time I'd seen them in person. But I remember thinking when my brother got these for Christmas that their heads looked different. So I think I think there's a rare, like, if you got the very first ones, it was ones whose heads didn't move up and down. Since they're always wearing suits in the cartoons, when they came out with the Headman in the early to mid 90s, I managed to get a couple of those, and I put them in suits, which Hasbro would later steal my idea, and they put them into the Shadow Crimson Guard packs, which I thought was cool, that instead of making Tomax and Xamot come in that pack, they just had Tomax come in one with the Black Crimson Guards, and then Xamot came in the other with a bunch of other Black Crimson Guards. I think there's a Firefly or something in there too. But it was cool because then you could buy two, double up your little army instead of buying like two and then having two sets of twins. So that was kind of good looking out on Hasbro part because usually they drop the ball on that. Like the Nemesis Enforcer pack that comes with Globulus and a Royal Guard. So if you want a lot of Royal Guards, you got to have a lot of Globuluses and Nemesis Enforcer too. So then the 25th anniversary comic packs once again stayed true to the original uniform. And with these ones, I bought suits. If you go to Marauder Gun Runners, they make toys. If you're not familiar with them already, I put a link in the description, and they got a lot of cool. They make a lot of weapons and accessories, and just a lot of little stuff. And I think their shipping is pretty flat rate if you live in America. I'm not sure about internationally, but it's like $3 for as much as you order. And then they always throw in little stuff like little stocking caps, and they're 1/18 scale. You know, they're for the original 3 3/4. But they also make like bunk beds and stuff. They don't have like big play sets or anything. It's just accessories and cool stuff. It's like furnishings, stuff you would put in a play set, but not actually. They're not like Joy Toy where they have big structures. But they sell these suited bodies, which I bought so that I can pop off my Crimson Guard heads. And now they're ready to run extensive enterprises. And I kind of like them better like this. I do like the classic suits though. But that is it for this unboxing. Next episode will be Crocmaster, and I'll see you guys soon.